I saw a lot of opportunities, and a lot of people say that no, you cannot get more than 5% hikes. That's not true. For the right people, they will give 20, 25, 30% hikes.
Hi everyone, welcome to LeapScholar YouTube channel. Hope you're all doing good. We have a very special guest with us all the way from Canada who has mentored hundreds of students aspiring to go abroad for their higher education. Before we start off, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe now. After a ton of student requests, we have Navjot with us today and we'll be talking about jobs in Canada for international students. But before we start, let me introduce Navjot. Navjot here is a storyteller with a knack for turning any amount of information into 5 decisive slides. A data nerd with over 13 years of experience in marketing insights, worked with companies like PepsiCo, BAT and Walmart across 18 markets. He's also a content creator focused on the success of immigrants in Canada, from getting a good job, building side hustles, investing in real estate, and much, much more. Navjot, the first question for the day is how easy or difficult it is to get a job after studying in Canada?
Look, so the answer to this is a little bit dependent on you. I hate answers which say it depends. But this actually depends on how well you network. When you come here on student visa, the important thing is that you're not just coming here for studying. You're not just coming here for knowledge. That's important. But you're also coming here to meet new people, to expand your network. And the ability to get a job, in the first month of you completing your studies or even before that, actually is directly proportional to how well you network and how well you use your studies and you use your influence that's around you, your professors, the people sitting besides you, your seniors, to your advantage. So it's highly dependent, the answer to this question, on how well you actually network here when you're coming here on study visa.
What are the top 5 high demand jobs in Canada in 2022?
So when it comes to top 10, it also depends on which province you are in. For example, in Alberta, we all know that oil and petroleum is really good there. A lot of the economy, the top 10 companies, 8 of them are oil and natural gas. So it depends on where you are in Alberta. It will be oil and natural gas. But in general, if you talk about it, IT, for instance, is really in demand. Now, it will be wrong to say all IT jobs are in demand. Within IT, you have app development. So my wife is an app developer and I know how easy, I would in fact say easy. If you're good, it's not very difficult to get a job as a developer. If you are, for instance, a business analyst, right? So you are a data scientist. All those jobs are really in demand when it comes to IT. You also need to be good. You also still need to network, because the difference between if you are into IT or these top, jobs, the difference between you getting a high-paying job and you getting a medium-paying job is how well you structure your resume, how well you network, how well you talk to other people, how good is your communication. It all depends on that. But I would say IT. Within that, I would say development, any kind of development. If you are doing business analysis, if you are in Alberta, then it will be oil and natural gas. And then you have the usual sales and marketing jobs. There are so many, because the population is increasing because of immigration and students coming here. There's a lot of demand for sales and marketing related roles, in Canada. And of course, you then have a shortage of doctors, physiotherapists, all these licensed professions, lawyers, I think there's a massive demand for those kind of profiles as well, because there's a dearth of licensed, professionals in Canada. Nursing, is another one. It's an amazing one, right? So I think all those are, and you can actually see that reflect into the kind of provincial nominations that, IRCC makes. So yeah, these are the top jobs.
Which is the best province to get a job in Canada and why?
In one word, I would say Ontario. And the reason for that is the population density in Ontario is high. And with population density, there comes opportunities, there comes more companies, there are more headquarters. So if you talk about just one province in general, I would say Ontario. But it also depends again on your profile. Now, you can't expect a sales guy to become an IT guy overnight, right? So if you're talking about technology, then obviously, Ontario is the way to go. But if you're talking about oil and natural gas, you have worked in, that industry, then Alberta is the place where you want to land. If you're talking about food technology, then Windsor is the place within Ontario that you want to land, right? So in one word, I would say Ontario, but there are certain professions that are good in, for each and every province.
It would be great if you could tell us 3 reasons why a student might not get a job in Canada.
Number one reason I already talked about is networking. When a student comes here with an intention of only learning or only enjoying life, I think that's where we get it wrong. So it's very important that you network. It's very important that it's not about the scores that you get in your, it's a little, don't fail, right? But, pass, the exams, but don't think that if you got less, grades in your studies that you do in Canada, it's the end of the world. I think there's life and there is networking beyond what you are getting in your exams. There is a lot of opportunities to explore and talk to your professors because they have been in Canada for a long time. There are opportunities to interact and network with your seniors. There are opportunities when you're doing part-time jobs. There are people there who have been in Canada for 3-4 years. Your supervisors, if you're working in McDonald's or anywhere, right? So it's very important that you take this opportunity, that you are ahead of a lot of people who come here on PR. There's a lot of learning curve when you come to Canada, and because you've come on student visa, you have 1 to 2 years more than someone who is coming here directly for a job, and then you can actually use that time to network really well. So number one would be, if you don't get a job, it's probably because you have not networked well enough. Number two is also that we actually panic. As a student, we feel that we have less time. We have 1 year of work permit. We have 3 years of work permit. We need to get a job now. We need to stay ahead of it. A lot of people have taken loans, right? And in that, what we do is we panic. We just apply for jobs mindlessly. We go away from our core strengths, and that actually leads to applying for too many jobs and not getting it because the quality of application is not very good. So I think we should not panic when we are coming here. And if we panic, there's a very high chance that we'll be applying for a lot of jobs, but we'll not be getting enough response. And number three, and this is in no particular order, right? The third most important thing is resume. A lot of people think that we need to, resume is a job description of whatever we have done in the past. It's not that. When we are creating a resume, it should show the impact that you created. For instance, you work with LeapScholar, right? What is the impact that you have created when you work with LeapScholar? What is it that? Because there are only two reasons why anyone would employ you. And we need to understand that and we need to write that. Number one is you make money for the company. Number two is you save money for the company. There's no third reason why you would stay employed or be employed by anyone. So it's important in our resume that we actually write the impact that each of us created in the particular job that we are doing. And it should not just be, we have done this. It's not a job description. So that's the third thing that I would say I see a lot of people making a mistake.
Well, this brings us to, please share your experience of working in Canada.
It's an amazing country, if for the right people, right? So if you keep negativity close to you, if you keep negative people close to you and you say that nahi, yahan pe to, you don't get jobs that are more than $60,000, you can only start at the lowest level. That's not the case. You just need to think a little bit broad, surround yourself with positive people, and you can get six-figure salaries here easily, right? I'm not even saying that you have to work hard for it. You can get six-figure salaries if you follow the right process. So my experience of working in Canada has been super amazing because there are so many opportunities if you look at the right places. I'll give you an example. When I came to Canada, I was in the middle of the pandemic. I landed the day WHO announced the pandemic on March 12th, 2020. I lost all the opportunities that I had. I lost all the networking that I have done. I lost all the interviews that I had, and I started blaming the pandemic for it. But it was not the pandemic. It was my process where I was lacking. I corrected that process. I started networking more. I invited people over to coffee chats because now you could only do Zoom chats, right? I just pivoted there. And I got results. So I think it's been an amazing journey. I've worked with Walmart, which is the largest employer in Canada, and I was working in their head office in my profile, and I saw a lot of opportunities. And a lot of people say that no, you cannot get more than 5% hikes. That's not true. For the right people, they will give 20, 25, 30% hikes. And if they don't give the hikes, you can always look for more opportunities. There are no dearth of jobs. You just need to approach it the right way.
Thank you, Navjot, for this insightful session. And for users, we will soon be back with more such videos. Until then, if you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section below. If you also want to know more about studying abroad, then click on the link below for a free counseling session.